So yes, I've got fantastic Diablo 4 news today as we got official updates from the devs about that PC performance patch, leaderboards, glyphs, Season 1 character progression, and most notably, it seems like many of you are not happy with the new changes to Helltide chests and Uber unique drops. We're going to dive into that one. Plus, we've got to talk about one of the greatest solutions for all that loot that's scattered on the ground, especially in those nightmare dungeons. It's a pain to have to pick it all up, and this feature alone could make the game so much better. Also, be sure to follow me out on Threads. I'm now out there, so if you want to talk to me or respond to me, I might be featuring your comments in future videos. So yeah, check out that link in the description below. But let's get straight into the official stuff. First and foremost, starting out with your questions and the responses from the dev team out on Twitter. So check this out right here. We have Angry Beard who says this: any plans to fix your memory leak? This game shouldn't be using 9Gs. It's not a NASA science project. And if we scroll down here, we have Adam Fletcher who says this: it's been tough to track this issue, but I think we may have a potential fix on 7/18, so July 18th. That is, of course, going to be the Season 1 patch that we will all gain access to and download. It's going to be a very big patch. So it seems like they are aiming to have a lot of PC performance improvements within that patch. Hopefully all those micro stutters, the memory leak issues are addressed as well. It seems like they're aiming for that. So that is absolutely fantastic news. It has been a pain in the butt on my end. I just never know when this game is going to be running well or when it's just going to be stuttering like crazy. So hopefully from 7/18 and onward, we have a smooth experience on PC. All right, so let's keep going. So next up we have Dart Pancake who says, game was in development for 9 years and 0 lessons learned even from Diablo 3. Example, druids had errors in the loot table and it took a few weeks to fix because the team doesn't care about players. But when Uber uniques start to drop, we must work at night. Make 2 hot fixes in 24 hours. We have a response here as well. It says, as someone who was a druid when our tables were broken, I am saddened it took so long to fix. Yeah, that is a bummer. Some things are balance changing and game breaking. Our broken loot table wasn't one of them. I am more sad we don't have leaderboards. They are important. They would solve this issue as well. And the response here from Adam Fletcher is as follows. He says, druid loot tables took a while as the game was doing some back-end updates on servers, so we didn't deploy any hot fixes during that period. Leaderboards we have mentioned will be in a later season, maybe by Season 3. Team wants to get them right and put more time on them. So yeah, Season 3 is still a while away, of course. Remember, each season takes about 3 months. They're aiming at the earliest, remember, to be Season 3. If they make it and they actually put the leaderboards in Season 3, by Season 3, I guess you would say, I would think that would be a miracle. Just don't hold your breath, you know. Again, this was said kind of like on a whim during a live stream, and I think Adam Fletcher here is trying to temper expectations with when leaderboards would be expected in the game. But yes, leaderboards would be amazing, of course, considering they were such a important part of the Diablo experience beforehand. Now, we have Rod Ferguson out on Twitter who goes on to mention this right here, and this tells me a lot about the future of Diablo 4. Check it out. He says, lots of great stuff going on with Diablo 4. Why don't you join us? Here's some open roles and some interesting stuff going on here because they are definitely going on a full-blown hiring spree. You've got game producer. You also have activities designer. That one gets me very curious. Quest designer. So it looks like they're prepping for the future here in terms of both expansions and seasons. But yeah, they are going all in. Remember, this has been Blizzard's fastest selling game of all time, which is saying something. So I think that they are essentially doubling down here and they want to get this one right. All right, next up we have this one right here. Didn't they say there's 31 new legendary fixes coming or something like that? And let's scroll on down. Adam Fletcher says this: season will have 32 malignant hearts across 4 categories. That's season 1, by the way. That is seasonal only, starting 7/20. 6 new unique items plus 7 new legendary aspects will be for everyone, along balance updates changes starting 7/18 with the update. And by the way, wasn't really clarified in this post, the 6 new unique items and 7 new legendary aspects will persist even in the Eternal Realm after Season 1 ends, even when Season 2 begins. You'll always be able to keep those unique, so that's really cool. And also, yeah, you can experience those legendary and uniques in the Eternal Realm starting on 7/18. And of course, yes, you can also experience those in Season 1 as well. Next up, we have this one right here from Lewis, who says, quick question, gentlemen. I watched the live stream today. I was wondering if our glyphs that we upgrade on our character in the Eternal Realm will carry over to our seasonal characters. Great question. And the response is this one right here from Joseph Papora of Blizzard, who says this: they will not know. So yeah, some people might be bummed about that, but also I'm not too sure how they would pull it off. Paragon boards are definitely not like account wide, they're character specific, so it only makes sense that you would have to kind of build up your character again. All right, so we have kind of a long-winded question here, but stick with me because it's pretty interesting what is said. So check it out right here. We have Quinn, who says this: well met, Adam. I have a question regarding something you mentioned during the announcement yesterday. I think a lot of people would like clarified. You guys mentioned as a temporary solution on the 18th, we'd have to log in on the Eternal Realm with characters that'll progress Lilith altars, Fog of War, to propagate that progress throughout the account. Now, for hardcore players, let's say I have 2 characters. What if I have collected all my Lilith altars on one character, or character 1? Then I create a new character, character 2. Now, character 1 then dies before the 18th, but character 2 is still enjoying the benefits of the altars I collected on character 1 as they were account-wide. Will logging in on the 18th with character 2 propagate my progress towards Lilith altars to my entire account, or do I need to make sure that character 1, the one that found the Lilith altars, survives until the 18th? Cheers, this is a great question, and the response is interesting. Adam Fletcher says this: a good question and a bit confusing. Stats right now are shared across character 1 and character 2 on live, but not renown. Unfortunately, with character 1 dead, we don't store that renown data. Thus, that won't carry over into Season 1, even with Character 2. The stats will still carry over, as that was handed off. And follow-up question is, I assume this is the same for Fog of War in the map as well. No response there, but I imagine that yes, that is going to be the exact same case with that too. So if you do have a hardcore character, just don't let them die before the 18th. Can you imagine having your hardcore character die moments before the 18th rolls around? That would absolutely suck. So yeah, I'm sure there's people that are risking it right now currently, but that's just the way hardcore characters work in Diablo 4. You know, Blizzard, on their recent live stream, they did state that this is not exactly how they wanted this to work out with the renown propagating to your account. It sounds like they're going to be adjusting this in the future, so you don't have to exactly worry about this as much, where you need to log in with your Eternal Realm characters to propagate all of your renown progression over to your Season 1 characters. Just remember, you do have to do that. On the 18th, highly recommend just logging in to all of your characters account-wide on the Eternal Realm to ensure that your Season 1 character is good to go, of course. Now, you guys remember that there was a hotfix recently. We got to talk about this one because it seems like a lot of you do not like how they adjusted Helltide chests, and more specifically, uber unique items. So yeah, hotfix 1 was released, and with it came some gameplay changes to Helltide chests. As Helltide chests will now have the chance to drop any unique and not be restricted to specific item slot limitations from any chest. Now, developer note says, with the above change, players will now be able to find unique items from all Helltide chests. Uber unique items also have a chance to be found from all chests. It seems like this rubbed the community the wrong way, and I'm going to get straight into your top comments from my previous video because you guys had some excellent things to say about this situation. So my previous video was this one right here. Check it out if you did miss it. That Uber uniques are back, but with a warning, Helltide chests have changed. So let's get into this with the first top comment. I think it's the most upvoted one here, so check it out right here. This one comes from Grand Styles, who says, this is such a weird decision. They went from focus farm the uniques you need. You can no longer focus farm uniques as they can all drop from any chest. Oof. So it seems like a lot of you guys do not like this change whatsoever. Yeah, so what would you guys like to see them do with Uber Uniques specifically? You guys like the idea of target farming, it seems, and it looks like that is very lackluster right now in the game. So up to Blizzard, the ball's in their court with how they handle loot going forward. Now, we have Kyle Trader who says the following. He says, I'm thinking the reason they made any unique drop from any Helltide chest due to the fact that Barbarian and Sorcerer don't have a unique helmet, and the way they coded the chest was 1% chance for uniques to drop. And when the 1% hit, the only unique was uber rare. So it rolls to drop a unique, then it would roll which unique would drop afterwards. And if the class uniques aren't adding their weight into the pool, then it drops uber. So that's a great theory on the thinking behind why they did this. Still, does it make it okay? That's what I'm wondering. Are you guys down for the change, or are you going to be like, I quit, I give up, I need my target farming back? Now, we have this one right here as well. It says, I think it would be nice if Blizzard gave each character their own stash and maybe add one additional tab for a shared stash across all character account now. Yeah, 100% agree with that one for sure. Now, we do have some things going on Reddit as well, so we got to talk about those. So let's get into this one right here. It says, Dear Blizzard, who decided that mobs should scale to player level but not the loot? Great question. It says, why didn't anyone on the dev team think this through? Scaling mob level is great. They forgot the other half of the equation. And yeah, we have some responses here. It says right here, who decided the NPC's life res armor that we have to protect doesn't scale either? And that's been a big issue. I've seen time and time again people mentioning how annoying and frustrating it is when NPC in this game asks for help, especially later down the road, because what's the point, you know? So all of this stuff needs to be adjusted. I'm curious to see if this makes it into the upcoming patch. Now, Legacy ZA had some interesting thoughts. It says this right here. At level 100, we need to see way more 805 plus item power drops than before. I agree. But yeah, overall, I think the loot pool needs a big overhaul. There's just certain elements of loot currently that are just uninteresting, or even if you get cool stuff, it's so underpowered, you're never gonna use it no matter what. So major adjustments need to happen to the loot pool overall. All right, so next up we have this one right here. The greatest solution to picking up loot in dungeons. This is such a great idea. It comes from Warpath Willie. It says, for anyone tired of picking up all the loot in a dungeon, having to sort through it, sell or salvage it, possibly even leave some of it behind due to full inventory and too lazy to portal out and back in, it's extremely tedious and breaks up the flow of the game. But boy, do I have a solution for you. There's a game out there that already solved this issue called Solista. That's a CRPG. Check that out, by the way. I actually worked with that company before, and that game is awesome. Now, it says, here's how it works. There's a new vendor in town called a scavenger. What this little guy does is after you clear a dungeon and leave, they go collect anything that wasn't picked up and take it back to town for you. I love this. And it goes on to say this, you can then go visit them, and it will open up a massive stash-looking page of all the items found. You can then look through it and pick out anything you want from the pile, and then tell him to go ahead and sell or salvage the rest right on the same page. So gameplay-wise, it'll look like this. You pop a nightmare dungeon, warp there, and speed through killing stuff, not even worrying about loot on the ground. Sure, if a legendary or unique drop and you're excited and you can still pick it up, but you don't have to worry about picking up anything. You can now run as many dungeons as you want back to back and just have fun. Say after running 5 dungeons, you now want to take a little break and see what you found. Cool, you could warp back to town, visit the scavenger, and pick through his pile of loot, anything you want to keep, and tell him to sell or salvage the rest. Right there in that one vendor, all loot transactions are settled, and you're good to go back out again. This allows you to completely separate your gameplay phase from your min-max gear comparison phase instead of being forced to do it every 10 minutes. Make it happen, Blizz. I beg of you. I absolutely love this idea. It would make the game so much better in my mind. Now, we have a response here. This is fascinating. Check it out. It says this. Good solution could balance it by having to pay a tax to the vendor for the service or something. And Warpath Willie, says, yeah, in Solista, that's exactly what they do. The scavenger makes his money by taking a percentage of the profits I think 10%, but it could be whatever makes sense. He scavenges, 1 million gold worth of items. If you tell him to go sell it, he charges you the 10%, gives you 900k, and keeps the rest. You guys like that system? Do you think it works out perfectly? And would you use it knowing that there's this sort of tax on top of it? I think it would be a huge time saver. It would make the flow of the game a lot better. And yeah, I think Blizzard should add it at least as an option. I think it'd be so cool. But yeah, there it is. Thank you all so much for watching all the latest happenings around Diablo 4. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it to the end, smack that like button for me. And don't be afraid to leave a comment. Again, love reading your comments and ideas. You guys have some amazing stuff to say about the game and great ideas, but keep them up, because I'm telling you what, I've never seen a development studio or company so responsive and willing to really listen. Like, if you're critical and your feedback is good, but you're also respectful at the same time, they will listen. It seems that way. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more, and I will see you next time. Take care.